Hello, everybody. Jourin here once again. I'm back with another video, my second video for this channel. This is gonna be a little quick video. Hopefully, it'll be quick. I don't think it'll be too long, but in any event, I wanted to talk a little bit about this idea that life is a lot easier than you think. I think that it's been pressed upon me to talk about the idea that I think that we just make life too difficult. And a lot of people um, have this thing going on where people say stuff like life is hard. It is to a point, but it's not as hard as we make it. I mean, sometimes people make life hard. I think that we try too hard to please everybody and to live somebody else's truth, and that's why a lot of people are having a hard time. And it's really not when you take out all the programming and all the teachings that we've been given and shoved down our throats. When you take all that out, you're going to find out that life is actually a lot easier. Because I think that a lot of people struggle because they're trying to do two different things. You're trying to be two different people. Let me get some water real quick. You can't be two people. And I think we have to learn how to just stop caring about what other people want us to do. Because I mean, honestly, everybody wants to get along with everybody, and everybody wants to, I guess, please their family and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, at the end of the day, you can't do both. I mean, you have to choose whether or not you're gonna be yourself or somebody else. And sometimes being yourself may not always line up with what you were taught. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Sometimes being yourself means that you have to deviate from what you've been told. And some people call it rebellion. I don't call it being a rebel. I don't call it rebellion. I call it being authentic. I call it telling yourself the truth. You know. And by the way, I know my shirt's not iron. I don't really care. I'm at home. But at any event, and I think part of that kind of, I've always been a very free spirited, open minded person. I think that comes from just being creative, because I'm a creative person. I think they both go hand in hand. And creative people think differently anyway. We don't think the way other people do. I'm not very structured. I mean, this won't sound right. I'm not a very structured type person. I mean, I am in a way, but not really. I don't know. I just don't believe that everybody should be doing the same things. I don't believe everybody should look the same. That's why I don't agree with. I don't even like the idea of uniforms, and I know I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers. I don't even like the idea of uniforms because I feel like it just makes everybody look the same. Why everybody gotta look the same? I just think it's funny how, I mean, some people believe that people should be wearing uniforms in schools, and I don't know why. And I think it's funny how everybody's always talking about that everybody is different, yet we don't let people be different. We don't allow room for people to be different. Everybody's always, everybody has a different fingerprint, but we don't allow people to express themselves the way they want to. And who's the judge as to what somebody should be wearing, what somebody shouldn't be wearing? And I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers with some people, because the truth of the matter is that I don't really think it matters what somebody wears. I think that what is clothes? It's just a piece of fabric. You know what I mean? It's like we get so bent out of shape with how people choose to express themselves, and I just think that and that's part of the reason why there's so much division going on these days. Well, I mean, there's always been division. Let me stop. Let me not even go down that. There's always been division, but I think one of the reasons why we've always had a lot of division in the world is because people just don't. I mean, everybody wants to get complicated. Everybody starts talking about all this stuff, but the truth of the matter is that the reason why we have division is because people just don't respect each other. That's what the bottom line is. I mean, it is when you just get rid of all the complications and get rid of all the fancy lingo. The whole thing about it is that the reason why we have problems is because people just don't have any respect for each other, regardless of what that difference is. It doesn't matter what it is, and that's one of the reasons why I don't even subscribe to certain things anymore, because I just think that it just does nothing but divide people. Like, and that's why I believe in being spiritual, but I'm not really, and I'm not. Maybe I shouldn't go down that road, but anyway, that's why I'm starting to, take a second look at different things, because it's just like a lot of these things that we've been programmed to believe, and a lot of these things that we've been shoved down our throats. A lot of the stuff is just designed to keep us divided, and that's why I don't believe in all this mess about who's on what side, and it's just like what's the point of all that stuff? Like, what does it mean? We're all human. We all want the same thing. We all want prosperity. We all want purpose. I mean, what difference does it make what side somebody's on? What difference does it make what somebody's views are? What difference does it make what religion somebody is? What difference? None of that stuff really matters. Because at the end of the day, we all have the same. We all have the same desires. We all want purpose. We all want prosperity. I mean, it's really simple. It's not that complicated to understand that. We just all go about it differently, but we all want the same thing. At the end of the day, what's the difference? I mean, we get so bent out of shape about somebody else, but we all want the same. We have more in common than we do different. We don't realize that. We have a lot more in common than we do different, and I think people should just be able to be themselves and do what they want to do. And I think that we need to get away from all this mess about depending on what kind of culture you're in, depending on what your race is, that you can't do certain things and you can't be about certain things. And I'm just like, what does that have to do with anything? I think we need to get away from all that. I don't know what does your appearance have to do with your interest. I make animated films. Some people would say that people like me don't do stuff like that. Well, I mean, it's nonsense, because I belong to a Facebook page of plenty of people who look like me who do that. So that's nonsense. But some people, anyway. I think that we just make life too difficult. And if you really stop and think about it, it's actually pretty easy. I mean, most of the drama you have in your life comes from everybody else. I mean, if you just get up in the morning, go outside, and just look around, you realize that everything is peaceful. A lot of people don't realize that most of the drama that you go through, most of the drama that you have in your life comes from everybody else. I mean, have you ever known somebody have drama by themselves? Nobody has drama by themselves. Most of the time when you have drama, it's usually because somebody else is involved. That's all. But we make things too difficult. And we spend a lot of our time trying to live up to these standards that we made up. We try to live up to these systems that we created, and we made things too complicated. And I think that We make things a big deal as not a big deal. You know, um, and I'm not going to get too specific into certain things, but I'm just gonna start by saying this, that I think that the reason why we just have all these problems going on sometimes is because people just don't know how to just respect the fact that people are just not the same as they are. That's the whole problem. That's really what it boils down to. Everybody makes an issue out of no issue. You know, and we spend too much time demonizing people because they don't subscribe to the same thing that somebody else subscribes to. You know, you may like Hulu, but somebody else likes Disney Plus. What's the difference? What does it matter? You know, um, you hear about people going through all these different changes, but I'm like, why are we even fighting over this stuff? Why are we fighting over these things that don't matter? Like, let people be who they are. What does it matter what somebody else is doing? I mean, as long as you ain't hurting nobody, what does it matter? You know what I mean? I don't understand why we even have these discussions. I don't even know why we're even debating about half the stuff we're debating about, because none of the stuff really matters. We spend all this time. We spend a lot of time trying to tear people down and demonizing people and judging people, and for what? Like, what does it really mean at the end of the day? Nothing. You know what I mean? It means absolutely nothing. You know, um, if you just sit around and talk to people, you'll just realize that everybody's pretty much the same. Well, like, what's the difference between this person over here and this person over there? Nothing. I mean, if somebody wants to dye their hair green, why does that matter? Like, who's it hurting? you know, why is that offensive? So somebody wants to have if somebody has piercings, why does that matter? Why does it matter what somebody does to themselves? Like, I just don't understand these things. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why we care so much about these things that don't really matter. Like, if somebody wants to look a certain way, why does it matter? Because when you really just stop and think about this thing, does it really matter? No, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's just funny how when we get finished going through all these different changes, you realize later on that none of the stuff really means anything. Like, we're just sitting around arguing about nothing. I just laugh sometimes when I hear these debates going on. I just laugh sometimes, and I'm just like, you know what? Why are we even talking about all these things? Why does it even matter? Like, it's like, is this really an issue? I mean, when I go outside and you know, I don't have no problems with nobody. See, I guess maybe. See, I don't have problems with people. I just don't. I don't really like. I don't care about what people are doing. I don't. It doesn't even. I don't even get bothered by anything because like it doesn't matter. And I'm just one of those. 1 second. 1 second. I'm just responding back to something. 1 second. But in any event, oh yeah, sorry about that. I had to respond back to something. But anyway, I told you I was being authentic. I'm not trying to. Anyway, um, In any event, I'll probably wrap this thing up in a second. But anyway, what I was saying was that um, the whole point of this video is that life is a lot more simpler when you think about it. We make things too complicated. Um, if we just learn how to respect everybody's differences, then we'll be straight. It's life is not hard. We make things harder than what it is, and we put too much stress on ourselves, and we concentrate on the wrong things. You know, and we need to stop. Y'all need to stop listening to the media because the media is lying to you. Like the media is fake, straight up. Just one second. Um, the media is fake. And I think we need to stop listening to the media because everybody, and that's one of the reasons why um, um, I'm very particular about this idea about staying away from the media as much as possible because like all it does is divide people. And I don't think a lot of people realize how much power the media actually has over people because all it does is divide people. That's all it does. You know, and everybody keeps talking about division, but the biggest divider is the media. The media is the one dividing everybody. that if you really stop and think about it, I mean, the media is the one dividing everybody. Every time they say jump, everybody says how high. Every time they come out with some crazy mess, everybody just jumps on the bandwagon. You know, So I mean, what does that tell you? So we need to learn how to start thinking for ourselves. We need to start learning how to see things for what it is, not for what somebody else says it is. Like I always say, the media tells you what to think, not how to think, which is why I stay away from it because it's not an accurate assessment of what's really about what the real deal is. If you really stop and think about it, I mean, everybody wants you to think that everybody's evil. Everybody wants you to think that certain people on this side is evil, and certain races of people are evil. Everybody has all this division that's being made up by the media is not real. Everybody wants you to think that, I won't get too deep into this, but everybody wants you to think that you know, people who look like me, for example, uh, you know, are in danger every day. It's just not true. You know, I'm 33 years old. I've been the same race for my whole life. I've never had any problems. Um, so this whole idea that you know, I don't play into victimization. I don't believe in all that stuff. I think all that stuff is nonsense. Um, you can do whatever you want to do, be what you want to be. Nobody can stop you from doing that. I think that we need to get away from this whole thing about being a victim because it really just holds you back. That's all it does. And I don't subscribe to that. I think that it doesn't matter what you look like. Listen, folks. Everybody has a struggle. Nobody's exempt from that. Everybody who's in this world is going to go through stuff. Everybody's going to have some sort of roadblocks that they have to get over. That goes for that. That goes for anybody. Nobody's really exempt from that. So this whole idea that somehow you have a disadvantage because you look a certain way is just nonsense because it's just not true. Everybody's going to have stuff going on. Everybody's going to have struggles. But the point of this video really is just let me come back around and wrap this up. The point of this video is the idea that we make life too complicated, and it's really simple. If we just learn how to respect each other and accept everybody's differences, we'll be able to do better and move forward. But that's all there is to it, really. And so I'm gonna wrap this up here, and I got other things to do now. And I'll be back with another video later. I just figure I'd pop on here real quick to give a quick word, if you will. And stay encouraged, stay motivated, and keep at it. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.